What's up, Pavam? Alright, today's an interesting one. You wanna know why? Ta-da! Yeah, I'm that guy. I literally bought that. I don't know why. Anyways, thought it'll be fun to go through it with you. Probably gonna just read one chapter or something. We'll see. Anyways, got my hot drink. Usually it will be tea. Today it's hot chocolate. Anyways, yeah, I can't believe it. Look at it. It's weird. So it says Scott Lang, the official memoir of Antman. Look out for the little guy. Okay. Okay, this is the incredible story of an ex-con turned world-saving superhero. It's just the little things, or some, not really the book, yeah. And look out for the little guy. Scott Lang shares with the world a bracing, honest account of his struggles and triumphs, from serving time to being a divorced dad to becoming Ant-Man and joining the Avengers. Those are s- these are stories of epic battle won and lost at this every man turned superhero finally tell all from the official account of what really happened between the Avengers and Thanos to how shrinking down to ant-size really feels to the challenges of balancing the role of hero and dad. Across his many adventures, big and small, God has gathered the wisdom of countless amazing experience into this, the first memoir from a real life Avenger. Once you learn the unforgettable detail of his epic journey, you wouldn't need to be reminded to look out for the little guy. Oh god, this is weird. This is already weird. And we haven't even started. Look out for the little guy. Literally. It literally just says look out for the little guy. Alright, to my two favorite partners, Hope and Cassie. This one's for you. Aw. Okay. Okay, so now this is probably the first chapter, which is an introduction. Yeah. Mm. Alright. Hey there. Howdy. Hey. Hi there. Howdy. Hey. Man. I hate introductions. If you're reading this book, first of all, thank you. Even though I can make my body as large as the Empire State Building, some days my self-esteem gets, well, ant-sized. Maybe that's an occasional hazard of being an Avenger and working alongside the mightiest and smart people on Earth. But the feeling is still there. Even when even when I remember that I did help save half the world. Anyway, my name is Scott Lang. You may now or at one time have known me as Ant-Man. I have been devoted in some in I have been involved. Oh my god, I can't read today. I have been involved in some superhero stuff you might have heard about. Some superhero stuff you probably have not heard about, and some superhero stuff you might be tired of hearing about. At least if you're anything like my immediate family. And we already know that in Quantumania. Okay, why did they wait to bring this out? I'm just thinking about that now. Like, if they were smart, they should just put it out with the movie, unless it spoils the movie. I'm just saying. Who knows? We'll find out together. Let's see. Okay, but who is Scott Lang? Well, I'm just an average middle-aged white guy who went to a fancy nerd college, got married, and landed a solid white collar desk job. I used to work as a computer guy at Vista Corp, a huge tech firm that dealt with security. Okay. Oh, the irony of that, but just wait for it. My wife Maggie and I had a baby girl named Cassie, and we were heading into an uncomplicated, peaceful suburban life outside of San Francisco. I mean, sure, on our TVs, we were watching the world occasionally come under attack by strange beings, but we also saw this amazing group of superheroes called the Avengers, who always managed to show up exactly when they were needed and send those baddies back away from our planet and my life. However, there was still some baddies right here on Earth, specifically in my workplace. Okay. Oh wow, is he telling us his crime and how he got into prison? Oh shit, shouldn't he not say that? He's confessing to a crime. Dang, dang. You gotta, I'm just playing. But like, no, but seriously, like, isn't this confessing to a crime? Okay, as I begin to discover over time, my company was not completely on the up and up. Under the misguidance of my boss, the company I was working at, VistaCorp, started using its prowess with security to take advantage of customers. Specifically, someone either overlooked or deliberately created a glitch in the payment processing software, skimming millions of dollars from customer accounts. I decided I was not okay with that. After multiple attempts to push back against the company, attempts that one might describe as legal or reasonable, or advisable, I decided to go in a different direction. Oh boy. I would like to start with the positives. I returned $5 million to our customers and exposed VistaCorp nefarious dealings to the public. And on the other side, I also drove an extremely expensive sports car into an extremely expensive pool and myself into San Quentin Federal Penitentiary for 3 years. Wow. How you gonna just, you know, confess to a crime like that? But he don't care because he's an Avenger. Can they? He's thinking maybe they can't touch me now, or he's so famous now that it'll look bad if they actually do something. I'm just saying. Well, they don't care because he did his time. So you know, we all have a past. Let's just be honest. I'm just playing. Even worse, this was also around the time that my marriage to Maggie broke up. I didn't want to get into the specific of why. That's strictly Maggie stuff. But let's just say husband suddenly going to the pen for 3 years wasn't exactly a marriage saver. More critically, though, that divorce plus imprisonment effectively separated me from my dear sweet daughter Cassie for way too many of her precious first few years. I wonder if she and I would ever have the chance to make a connection. Eventually, I finished my sentence, left Sanku, and attempted to rejoin the world, even if the world didn't quite seem to know what to do with me yet. I couldn't get a job with a conviction on my record. I had no funds or place to stay. Even my one joyful attempt to reunite with Cassie was cut short by Maggie and her fiance telling me I had to get my life together before we could hope for visitations or shared custody. Sadly. Fortunately, though, there was one guy who did have a use for me. Unless you have spent the past few years in a cave or say a summertime. No. Alright. You probably at least heard of hemp tech, hemp tech, hemp technologies. God damn it, I cannot read for shit right now. Or at least Hank Pip. If you haven't, Hank Pip was the inventor of the hemp particle, an incredible scientific breakthrough. Hemp particles have the power to cause molecular reduction or expansion at great scales in either direction. In other words, they can make anything super small or super big. Hank and his wife Janet Van Dyne put this to direct use on themselves, performing countless heroic deeds as the original Ant-Man and the Wasp. And outside of the superhero game, Hank started a serious R&D operation known as R&D operation known as Pimp ah, Technologies. Dang, I cannot speak for shit today. But a few years ago, Pimp Tech fell into the unscrupulous hands of people who wanted to expose his discoveries for use on the battlefield and to sell the resulting technology to the fo- folks folks we really do not want to be in battle with. By then, Hank had been pushed out of the company that literally had his last name on the door, but he knew what was being planned with his but he knew what was being planned with his adventure, and that it had to be stopped. Oh wow, we're telling the story of Ant-Man fully. This is literally the story of the first Ant-Man, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay, but we know what it was, but he knew what was being planned with his invention and that he had to be stopped. So he let's say hired me to recover his creation from Pimp Tag. Wobbly wobbly. God is probably what you're saying right now. How did we jump from custody dispute to biotech exposure? Explosion. Well, right about the time I was stumbling out of prison, trying to find myself, Hank Pym, whom I don't know, who I did not know at the time, found me. Hank had done his research on me and knew I was skilled at both electricity, electronics, and thievery. And most importantly, he knew that I had nothing left to lose. Wow. Okay. This is literally the events of Ant-Man now. Okay. Unbeknownst to him, unbeknownst to me, he tested me by en- en- enticing me to steal the Ant-Man suit from his highly formidable safe. Once I succeeded at that, Hank and his daughter Hope Van Dyne kind of stole me from police custody, offered me the gig as if I had a choice, and then trained me to pull off one of the craziest high-tech heists ever. So return the potentially world-threatening military technology to its rightful creator and it's back to peace again, right? Wrong. Literally no sooner I had pulled off the PIM tag operation with an assistance from some old prison pals and extremely skilled ants. Then I found myself face to face with the Avengers, well, two of them anyways, Captain America and the Falcon. Believe me, two more than enough. I already had a tussle with the Falcon, but now he and Cap. Oh, we're going straight into Civil War now. Okay, because it's saying he met Cap and Falcon, but like, yeah, he only met Falcon in Ant-Man. And then this is when he went to Germany with Captain America and Falcon. Yeah, yeah, because it says I already had a tussle with the Falcon, which was in Ant-Man, but now he and Cap, as I would soon be calling it, no big deal, actually wanted my help. Yeah, in Germany. Okay, yeah, this is literally Civil War now. Wow, wow. I mean, wow. It was just cranky old semi-retired scientists tracking me down anymore. Now I would caught the attention of Earth Mightiest. So what they want from me? So what they wanted me for was a bit messy. Basically, the Avengers had a huge international divide over something too complicated to get into here, which was the Soviet Accords. Again. And Cap and Falcon wanted some fresh and highly sized muscle on their. Okay. It's just weird reading it from Scott Lang's point of view. Yeah. All right. Especially when all of this con- culminated in a huge Avenger versus Avenger faction at an airport in Germany. Germany. I was just spent 3 years in a tiny cell. Now I was suddenly doing Europe. What? What does that even mean? What culminated? Yeah, culminated. There. But what does this even mean? Wait, I'm so confused in what this even means. Especially when all of this culminated in a huge Avengers versus Avengers facades at an airport in Germany. I'll just spend 3 years in a tiny town now I was suddenly doing Europe. I don't want to get into the details of the conflict, and in fact, I'm under legal obligation not to. What? So did Ant-Man sign an NDA joining the Avengers? What? Okay, but let's just say I might have been on the more badass side of it. In the end, the whole fight got resolved, as I think you know. Otherwise, our planet would be a scourge battlefield of never-ending inter-Avengers smackdowns. So peace on Earth now. Nope. That's when, thanks to Thanos, half of life in the universe disappeared. So no peace on Earth or anywhere else. I wasn't around for those 5 years of missing people. You find out why soon. But I came back just in time, jumped to a different timeline, fought like every bad guy in the universe on a field in upstate New York. Helped the Avengers stop Thanos and put all the people back where they belong, including last but not least putting my precious hope back together with me. What? Alright. As you might imagine, that was a lot. So, in the time since, I've been trying to take things a bit easier. Nursing wounds, reconnecting with those I missed, reflecting on what it all means, and yes, and of course, writing this book. And if you want to really get to know who Scott Lang is, reading this book is where I'd recommend you start. So, at this point, I bet you also have a very serious question, one which I have answered myself over a thousand times a day while writing this. Why on earth is Scott Lang the first superhero writing a book? What? Nope, I'm not asking you that. I mean, just between us, I'm proud to be an Avenger. But sometimes I also feel like a latecomer. Yeah, phase two. Yeah, I guess. Well, tail end of phase two and then literally the beginning of phase two. Anyways, yeah, sure, I came through in the ultimate clutch, but in a baseball terms, I'm not a starter. I'm a DH, degraded hero. Wait, designated, wait, what? Designated hero. Designated, oh my god, I'm so stupid. I can't read for shit today. Designated hero. Here's how I see it. I'm the everyman Avenger. I'm the one you can grab a beer with, the one you feel okay asking to look after your dog when you're away or for a drive to the airport. I'm not a super soldier or a billionaire, unless this book is super successful. Just a regular dad, a San Francisco Giants fan, and a guy who made mistakes. I'm still trying to re- rectify. Okay, this is stupid. Yo, this is funny. In a world, in a word, I'm an ordinary guy who's best thrust more than once into extremely circumcised, into extremely circumcised. Wait, what? God, I can't read shit. I'm sorry. In a word, I'm an ordinary guy who's been thrust more than once into extraordinary circumstances. And I know that still doesn't completely answer the question of why I wrote this book. The simple answer is the Avengers asked me to. Really? Okay. One day, Bruce, the Hulk Banner. Okay, wow. One day, Bruce Banner, the Hulk, and Clip Barton took me out for lunch. They said they were concerned that the world doesn't did not really know what had happened with Thanos and the blip, and a long struggle to finally put things right again. At first, as I usually do when confronted with heavy topics, I make a joke. I'm pretty sure at least half the world knows what happened. Bruce responded, that. Yes, of course. Billions had experienced those jarring and mind bending events, but they don't know the full story behind them. And ultimately, that's what people need the most to get through and get past traumatic events, a narrative that helps it all make sense. Okay, I agreed. Solid plan. So who are you going to get to tell that story? Clint answered, You, Scott. You're the guy who got scooped up in all of this pretty recently. You still got one foot in their world, and you're a guy everyone likes and trusts. And Bruce Seal the deal is tough stuff, and no one knows how to keep it light like you. Wow. Okay. Mm. Well, I still had tons of doubts. I was hardly an eyewitness to almost all that history. I haven't been around for the Battle of Wakanda or any of the events that led to Thanos gathering the various Infinity Stones, but pretty much immediately I know what my answer would be. As far as I'm concerned, when the Avengers ask you do to a job any job you say yes. When the Avengers ask you do to a job any job you say yes. So I did. Two quick handshakes. Bruce, now permanently in his Hulk body, made sure to keep. Anyways, and it was settled. They would supply me all the archive footage and documentation. Take me anywhere I need to go and let me ask as many questions as I need. The only thing is, it wasn't actually 100% settled for me on the inside. From the counterfeit perk of having two amazing superheroes place their trust in you, there was a frighteningly steep plummet into self-doubt. Even with the sensible reasons, the whole affair just stirred up a question that's been burning inside me most of my adult life. Why me? Okay. Okay, why me? I've been asking myself that since before I even met the Avengers. Back when I was working at Vista Corp, why was I the only one who couldn't sleep at night after learning of all the money they were stealing from customers? Why did I basically give up my job, give up my marriage, and spend 3 years in San Quentin just so I can play Robin Hood? And finally, and this one's still smart. When VistaCorp nasty business became public to the world, why was I the one who ended up going down for it? I didn't know the answers to those questions, and perhaps I never will. Not even Doctor Strange can tell me, and believe me, it's not for my lack of asking. Once the purple dust had settled from the battlefield, I tried bonding with the guy. Let's just say he wasn't either unwilling or uninterested in filling me in about any of my possible past. Oh my god, the 14 mil. Oh my god. Oh god, why? But here's what I do know. The Vista Corp slash prison experience told me that our world is broken, and that's never going to get fixed unless folks like me, the unlikely ones, set up the job. And when Hank Pym plucked me out of the ex-con pool and put me to work as Ant-Man 2.0, I started to see the haze hindsight outline of a why for me. Maybe all these hard years I had just endured were actually preparation for a higher purpose, which is a good thing because right after my first outing as a hero, I was drafted into the aforementioned very scary and sort of confusing business with Avengers fighting other Avengers in Germany. I was sent to an underwater super. Oh my god. Is he literally just telling us the location of no, dude. No, oh my god. Yeah, is he literally? Oh my god. Okay, super. I had to take the fall and spend 2 more years in detention under house arrest. Why me again? Still no perfect. He literally just told us where the raft is. That is jokes. No, oh my god. Why is he just telling us shit? Like, oh my god. He shouldn't be saying shit like this. I was sent to an underwater super max prison, and once again I had to take the full and spend 2 more years in detention under house arrest. Why me again? Still no perfect lock on the answer, but I was beginning to glimpse one. This is going to sound beyond weird for a guy whose success and often life depends on quantum machines, but basically had a feeling. Even as I was yanked from one seemingly unthinkable scenario to another, asking to do things I would have never dreamt possible, I began to see that many incredible things were, in fact, possible, and I was doing them. And they started to feel more and more, for lack of a better word, right. What? I don't even know what's happening now. I know this is the kind of feeling my Avengers feel mid-mission or mid-battle, and maybe they have gotten used to it. But I'm just finally getting there. To the feeling that even when faced with the most terrible foes imaginable, even with the odds exponentially stacked against you, if you are working side by side with others to serve a greater good, you're in the right place doing the right thing for you. And honestly, the real story behind the entire Avengers saga, it's the one I thought was most essential to share with all of you. That was the deeper reason I said yes to those two Avengers at the lunch counter. Because I knew that once again, I was being called to do what seems impossible, at least highly inadvisable. But instead, I let that feeling, I let the feeling take a hold and guide me. I realized that I needed to share that feeling with you, because at the end of the day, nobody can tell where life is going to yank them unexpectedly and seamlessly beyond their reach. Steve Rogers signed up to fight, imagining he would only go as far as a scrawny guy can get in wartime. Tony Stark was brilliant and successful, but I know a part of him wondered if he would ever get out from under his dad's shadow. Even Doctor Strange, in all of his professional success, professional success, could never have imagined becoming a master of the mystic art, or even that such a thing existed. And that same unpredictability is just as true for you as it is for me. What would you do if life shrunk you down and tossed you into a bathtub being filled by your former prison buddy? Okay, that one might just be me, but how about when life sends you unexpectedly packing from your gig of 3 years and straight into a jail cell because you dare to blow the whistle on your company's greed? You did not ask why, you asked, where do I go from here? Because that's the job life has for you, at least right at this moment, and it's the kind of job you don't get to quit. You can run, but you cannot hide, not even if you can shrink yourself down and leap into a bathtub. Now I know. Now I know I said before that I don't know technically have a superpower, but looked at another way. I actually do. And that and the even cooler part is, so do all of you. Having the ability to change my size at will, I've seen the world is full of big guys and little guys, and unsurprisingly, the former is always stepping on the latter. Sometimes this is by design, but sometimes just because of their stature and drive, the big fellas doesn't even see that everyday hardworking folks just trying to get by. That's why it's always the job of people like me, and as I'm going to show you throughout this book, you, to look out for the little guy. That's something we all have a superpower ability to do if we simply choose to accept the job. Aww. Okay, that's cool. You are in this place and time for a reason, and no one else is. And so, when the next uncertain, unlikely, impossible step is revealed to you, I urge you with every practice in my body, particle in my body, hemp or otherwise, to turn that why me into a why not me. At least that's what I tried to do when I promised the Avengers I would tell their story. And the best way I know how to do that is by telling mine at the same time. Because I have learned what whenever I start to talk about something big that happened, I always see the little lessons that can be learned from it. And I want to share that to help myself and others. Okay, wait, before we move on, There's a picture. Yeah. Okay. I don't know when it was taken, but it looked like I think it's like a picture from one of the movies or something, and it says, "All right, you handsome devil, let's write this book you have written." All right, you handsome devil, let's read this book you have written as a caption on under it. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, right there. It says, "All right, you handsome devil, let's read this book you've written." Anyways, okay, let's continue. Maybe it's because I didn't get the chance to be around my daughter Cassie for so many chunks of her life to share what I would learn with her. I'm still working on that, but it's hard now that she's a grown up herself who's already seen and experienced so much without me to guide her. I missed the boat on that one, but believe me, you are in for an entire book of dad wisdom, just burning for a home. So that's what I plan to do in this book. I'm going to tell it all from how I saw it, experienced it, and heard it firsthand from my hero buddies. I'm going to bring you into the hero world. Along the way, you'll hear about my story, Scout Lang, story from where I started, the Ant-Man I've become, and I'm still becoming, because I'm so incredibly fascinating. No, because my life, just like yours, lost half its value if we don't find a way to share its lesson with others. And finally, because if you take nothing else away from my words, what I want to share is that what makes all of us giants is how much we look out for the little guy, how we help out our fellow humans when they need it most, how our greatest superpower can simply be a listening ear, a concerned eye, or an outstretched hand, how we don't how we don't need wait we don the hero uniform by simply showing up and doing the unbelievably unlikely job that life has just handed us. And speaking of jobs, I've got an entire rest of a book to write. Oh, why did I agree to this? Why me? All right, so that's the intro. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there and then just do it next. Continue next time.